The large mouth smiled, but without warmth or humour. "Oh, there's just one other thing." "Yes, Mrs. Snyder?" "You must deal with them in your own way. I shan't interfere, but I'd rather there were no corporal punishment. Some children it doesn't harm. I doubt if it would harm little Pamela, for instance. But my own three loves are very sensitive, even Camilla, and I think that striking a sensitive child may do a lot of damage. Psychologically, I mean. I'm sure you won't mind my mentioning it." Judith assented readily enough. She had a real affection for children, and detested the thought of their being hurt. At the same time, she noted the invitation to discriminate between Pamela and the others, and made a firm inward vow to ignore it. Even, if it came to that, to fight against it. "Very well, then." Mrs. Snyder pressed a bell beside her chair. "It's getting late, and I expect you'd like to see your room and settle in. I hope you'll be comfortable. You must let me know if there's anything you want, or any way in which I can help you. Good night, Miss Carnegie. I have every confidence in you." Which was very gratifying, Judith reflected, as soon as the maid had shown her to her bedroom and left her alone there. But unluckily the feeling was not mutual. Unpacking, she tried to reason away her dangerous initial prejudice. Mrs. Snyder had been very courteous and considerate, after all, and Judith was aware that even at 29 she was still prone to the over-ready intolerance of youth. Still, a faint aversion remained, and Judith could only hope that time would erase it. In the meantime, it didn't matter. The children were what mattered. At the end of the following day, she was able to sum up her first impressions of them. Pamela Catesby she had liked at once. This thin, black-clad, fair-haired child, small for her 10 years, was going to need all the sympathy and understanding of which Judith was capable. She was timid, quiet, and cruelly racked with homesickness. Judith's heart went out to her, but she was shrewd enough not to be too demonstrative too quickly. There would be plenty of time for that. For the present, it was better to treat her in a kindly but still business-like way, making no overt distinction between her and the others. And then the Snyder children. Camilla, the oldest, was 15, a boisterous, tomboyish creature with an untidy mop of mouse-coloured hair, talkative and unquenchably energetic, but not over-endowed intellectually. "Miss Carnegie, why does everyone have to spell everything the same way? After all, you said yourself that Shakespeare—" "If you don't spell properly, my dear girl, people will think you're either ill-educated or a crank, and they'll treat you accordingly, which won't be pleasant. Now, once again, how many L's in always?" "2, Miss Carnegie. Oh, no, 1, I mean." If Camilla had the energy, Tony certainly had the looks. He was an extraordinarily handsome boy of 13, with that bold, sharply chiselled beauty of lip and eye which hints at insolence. Clever, too, precociously so, though only in flashes. Judith saw at once that his besetting vice was idleness. And unlike Camilla, he was taciturn, sometimes almost to the point of rudeness. Tony would require patient and careful handling. And lastly, Eve. Judith realized with something of a shock that she disliked Eve. At 12, Eve was lean, dark, plain, and a practised hypocrite. "Oh, yes, Miss Carnegie, I quite understand now. You make it all so clear." But premeditated sycophancy, though displeasing, was by no means the chief count in Judith's reluctant indictment of Eve. Judith was remembering what she had seen in the playroom that morning. Eve had been alone in there. It chanced that Judith was wearing rubber-soled brogues, and so Eve did not hear her when she entered in search of a book she had left there. On the window-sill lay a small green caterpillar, and Eve was holding a lighted match to it. It curled and rolled and twisted in a mute frenzy of pain, and Eve was watching it with a little bubble of saliva at the corner of her mouth. In 3 strides Judith was across the room. She struck the match from Eve's hand, brushed the caterpillar onto the floor, and trod on it. "Eve!" she exclaimed. "How could you?" The girl's face was flushed. She licked her lips. "Oh,